Welcome to a new episode of The Green Kitchen, a show that celebrates nutrition, nature and livelihood linkage. I am Vibha Varshne and I work on food and biodiversity at the Center for Science and Environment. Our ancestors could find food around them and they could survive. Many of these fruits and plants are still available around us. It's just that we need to find them. Today we have with us Sangeeta Khanna, who works on nutrition and environment. She travels across the country to find new ingredients and recipes. Today, she is going to talk to us about Goolar, very visually unique tree, which is easily available across the country and it is very nutritious. And she's going to tell us how it can be included in our food. So welcome to the show, Sangeeta. And
Thank you, Vibha.
Tell us something about this tree.
Okay, so Goolar, which is wild fig, is a beautiful tree. As you said, it is unique. The tree is wide, the branches go wide, and when it's the fruiting season, the whole stem is covered with little bunches of wild figs that are very small. But the most interesting thing is that there are so many varieties of Goolar or fig, wild fig in India, that the size can vary from say a small chickpea to a large dinner plate. I've seen in Coorg figs shaped like saucers, big saucers, and most of them are edible.
Why should we eat these figs? What do they give us?
Goolar wild figs have been used for food forever, I think, because this tree is one of those trees that are the oldest trees on the earth surviving. Ficus obviously is ficus species, and this is one of them. It has been able to survive all the hardships on this earth because it has a huge capacity to grow anywhere. The seeds are propagated by birds. Birds eat the fruit, and when the fruit is ripe, and the seeds survive the digestive tract of the birds. And when birds poop here and there, the seed germinates. Anywhere it can germinate, and it can grow into a big tree very quickly.
The unique feature about it is that the fruit, that what we believe is the fruit, is actually a flower.
Yeah.
So how did you find out about that, and what is so significant about that?
It's a very special type of fruit. Actually, it's called syconium. The fleshy part of the fruit is like a bowl, like an inverted urn actually. And the flowers, there are many flowers inside. They are located as a lining of the inner part of that urn. And that's how it is shaped. And there are insects that pollinate those tiny flowers. They can go from the tiny opening of that fruit, and they can fertilize the flowers, pollinate the flowers actually, and the fruit survives.
Okay. How do they taste? Like figs are also anjeer.
Yeah.
Anjeer is sold a lot in the market and it's very sweet. Though it's also used medicinally, but it is sweet. So is the taste of a country fig similar, or is it different?
So when the country fig is ripe, it is similarly very brightly pinkish, rose pink color, and it is sweet. The flesh is sweet. But the problem is that the inside of it is full of insects that have come to pollinate the flowers. So that's the reason the ripe ones are not widely eaten like the raw ones. Raw ones are plucked and then it is chopped into halves, and then the inner side is either scraped out, or in the older times what I've seen my grandmother doing, they'll just pound the whole fruit with mortar and pestle, big ones, and then wash it off, wash the granular flowers off, and the insects also will be washed off along with it. And they'll save the flesh, and then they'll cook with it.
Okay, that's a very good idea. Like, that is something that makes it very difficult to cook with once in a while if you want to have a dish which is looks nice. So that's a very good idea. But it also has a lot of medicinal and health benefits. Can you tell us something about those?
So the fruit, when it is unripe, basically is ripe fruit. Obviously, fig is considered very good for the gut and good for people who have constipation, etc. Even the raw fruit is similarly beneficial. It is astringent in quality, so it helps in healing the gut lining basically. And the fibrous content is so good that it helps the gut microbiome to grow in a way that we need it. So it has always been considered good for the stomach. So it is good for the stomach in several ways.
Okay. So as you said, you have seen different types of Goolar figs across the country. Is there any different way? Are there different ways in which different communities consume this flour?
So what I have seen in Uttarakhand, it's called bedu. It is larger sized, almost like a tinda, and they boil it first, and then they make regular sabzi with some spices, etc. In other places, I've seen, like in Western UP, some Muslim families will make kebabs out of it. Whoever doesn't eat meat, etc. Kebabs are also very good, actually. In my family, kebab or cutlet was very common. We'll just boil it and mash it with potato and some spices and onion, ginger, etc. And the kebab was really good. The most favorite of mine is Goolar ka chokha. You just clean it, and for Goolar ka chokha you need the fresh fig. It should not be blackened, etc. You boil it and then you mash it up roughly, and then add some chopped onion, chopped green chilies, all raw. Only the Goolar will be boiled, and drizzle it with some mustard, raw mustard oil, and serve it like a mash. It's a scramble sort of a consistency, but it taste is really good with any kind of roti, rice, dal, etc.
So for the modern urban Indian, is the tree still available around us?
Oh, it grows everywhere. You will find in parks in Delhi, the public parks, roadsides, everywhere. You just have to have an eye for it. When it is flowering season, you'll see the tree trunks covered with bunches of small Goolar. Sometimes it is so low that you can even pluck it.
So the modern Indian, like people in cities, making a kebab or maybe making a chokha might be difficult. Are there any easier ways of consuming this, like other than just eating it?
I would say cleaning it is the most difficult task. That's why possibly it has become not so popular in the modern times. But most urban families have house helps, and it can be done easily. So once it is cleaned, it can be boiled, and then it can be processed in whatever way. It can be made into a cutlet, it can be made into even a nice keema-like spread on toast or anything.
Okay. Have you ever tried storing it for a day or two? Like, does it taste off later on?
Is storing it raw?
Mashed.
One can store it for up to 2 days in the fridge. Once it is cooked, it stores well. It has very little water content. So it has, and once you cook it with, say, mustard oil or some spices, it has some natural antioxidants to keep it shelf stable for a while.
Sangeeta, why should we eat this fruit flour? Why?
Yeah, so wild Goolar, the question why we should be eating it is very important, because this is a very abundant resource available to us, and we are not utilizing it. It uses minimal water from the earth. It doesn't use any resources that are brought for this tree to be so abundantly productive. And for vegetables, we are dependent on so much of transportation, so much of water and growing and all of that. So instead of that, even if we say convert our 5% consumption of leafy vegetables to this, we'll be doing a great service for the environment by making it more sustainable.
So it is really a survival food which could actually help us.
Yeah, it is a survival food. It doesn't cause any burden on the earth, even if we consume it in abundance.
Okay, thank you for all this wonderful information. I hope all our viewers would try to first figure out where it is growing around them, and then figure out ways of cooking with it and including it in their diet. So thank you, Sangeeta, for joining us.
Thank you so much
and
for having me,
so wonderful. And for the viewers, I would request you to share your recipes with us. Whenever you try, let's see what all can be done with this flour. Thank you.